There is an epidemic of loneliness in America. Some research suggests that up to 50% or more of Americans feel lonely. For many people, this time of year can make those feelings of loneliness even worse. And I've felt lonely and I see you. Maybe some of these feelings that loneliness bring up for us have to do with shame or embarrassment. These feelings of loneliness, maybe they come from you moving to a new city and you don't know anybody. You can be in a relationship and still feel lonely and disconnected. Life transitions, such as losing a spouse or changing jobs, can increase feelings of loneliness. Hi, everyone. This is Joe. Almost all of us have felt lonely at some point in our lives. Loneliness is different from solitude. Solitude is a choice we make to be alone, often to take time to refill our spirit, and we might go hiking, read a book, meditate. It's being in our own space. I like my solitude. I enjoy being alone. But loneliness is different. Loneliness is an individual experience, and it can be a feeling of not being seen or heard, or feeling being left out and not being included by others. But loneliness is not a flaw or a failure or a disease that needs to be cured. There is nothing shameful about feeling lonely. It is a feeling we all have. I have been lonely at different times in my life. Over this past year, I had feelings of loneliness, a feeling of being disconnected from a larger community. And part of that, as many of you probably experience, your lives can be busy. It can be hard to socialize with other people. If you have kids, that definitely can be true. And for me, I needed to take some actions, make some changes. And so one of the things I did was to start going to therapy and talking through what I was feeling. And I did this to get a gauge, to get an outside perspective on some of those things I was feeling. Another thing I started doing was taking martial arts classes. And I started that this past year, just a few months back, because I wanted to break kind of my habits and push my boundaries physically and mentally, but also to meet new people outside of my work circle, outside of my family circle. And, most of my friends, old friends, live far away or have families with young kids, don't get a lot of time to spend with them. And I think many people can relate to that as well. And loneliness can affect us at different stages in our lives. As many of you know, this channel, we're a Gen X kind of focused channel, and we think about retirement, and life changes like that can really disrupt our social network. And so part of the thing I've been thinking about is expanding the circle, finding interests that engage me with different people and kind of force me out of my shell a little bit. How can you work through feelings of loneliness? I'm just a guy you've met on YouTube that has been lonely at different times in my life. The feelings of loneliness affect each of us differently, and it's complex. And how we work through it will be based on our individual personalities and needs. You may want to reach out to a therapist or a medical professional for guidance. I guess the first thing I would say is accept being vulnerable. It can be scary putting yourself out there, opening up to other people. And you don't have to be crazy about it, but accept being vulnerable a little bit and sharing yourself with others in different ways. And being open to others sharing with you. And, if you think you're weird, there are people, wonderfully weird people, just like you. There are people, creative, imaginative, compassionate people who don't realize that you are the missing piece to their puzzle. And so be open, be vulnerable to meeting other people. take action. It can be scary breaking out of your comfort zone, and taking even small steps can help. Reach out to at least one person that you can reach out to, call or text them. Have small interactions. Even if you're not good at small talk, I'm not really good at small talk either, but asking someone how their day is going and follow up with an additional question. Those small interactions can begin to open up a door for meaningful relationships. Another thing is, put social media into perspective. Loneliness didn't start suddenly with social media, but on social media, people are showing their best, happiest versions of themselves. Scrolling through these posts may make you feel like you're boring or you're being left out and that everyone else is living a happy and fulfilled life. It's an incomplete picture at best, a distortion of reality. Remember, also, this is not a competition. Don't compare yourself to what you see on social media. This is your life. You are enough and you're doing your best. You don't need to compare yourself to what other people are doing on their curated social media posts. One of the other things you might try is visualize what type of people and relationships you want to have in your life and what activities do they do. Think about what you're interested in or passionate about. Those can be opportunities where you can engage with people on a different level. Or be willing to try something totally new. Be willing to suck at something and accept it. I had no kind of understanding of martial arts. I'm not that coordinated, but I'm working through it and I'm trying it and meeting new people along the way. Here are some other things if you're trying to think through what you might try. Take a cooking class. Go to a flea market or a tag sale and talk to the vendors. Go for a road race and run or walk if you have to. Sign up for a rock climbing class. Go to your local senior center. Teach an adult ed class about something that you've done that they might be interested in and that you care about. Join a book club. Go to a dog park. My wife and I met because we were walking our dogs and struck up a conversation. Start martial arts lessons. Get involved in a community theater group. And again, social media is not inherently bad. Use it to make connections where possible. And there are some sites that might be helpful for people with mobility concerns, like looking at virtual webinars and activities on Eventbrite and other virtual meetups. Again, use social media as a tool to open up your world, to experience different things and meet new people and build relationships. But don't use it to compare yourself to others. And remember, if you want to reach out, put a note in the comments below just to say hi or express how you're working through your feelings of loneliness or struggling with your feelings of loneliness. Because in reality, we've all been there at some level. So take care of yourselves, be well, and we'll see you next time.